Well, hello again, and welcome to Roland's Reviews. Hope that everyone had a most productive work week, and I will welcome everyone as they come into the live chat. Jermaine, how are you? Florida, I think, was first one here. Abdullah, all of you, as you come in, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. That would be great. Okay. So let's look at the title. Um, Joy Reid snaps after Byron Donalds calls out Democrats' racist history. Now, if you've been here on the channel for a while, you know we have been discussing just that, the racist past of the Democrats. And of course, they're always trying to play the race card and uh, 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 put it on the Republicans that they're the racists, they're the racists, they're the racists. Um, Folks, anytime you point at someone, three fingers are pointing back at you. So that should be an indication, right? How are you? How you doing, Lonnie, Fairly, James, Toy Mafia, all of you who are coming in? Welcome. Ruby, how are you? And Laurie, so glad to have all of you here. Now, if you are familiar with this particular topic, please go ahead and type that in the chat section for me. How you doing, Angela? And tell me what you know about this particular incident. We know there was a firestorm about this particular topic with Joy Reid, of course. Uh, she interviewed Byron Donalds. We know the same old spiel. They take the words, they twist them, they try to interpret them for being one thing when we know that that is not the case. All right. And so I wanted to talk about this topic and excuse me, see what you thought about it. All right. Laurie's from Maine. Fun fact, Laurie, one of my very favorite books as a child was One Morning in Maine. Check it out if you don't know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. Okay, there you go. And again, look at this topic. If you're familiar with it, type in the comment section, folks. We know about all of the games and all of the gaslighting that we've come to, expect from the Democratic Party. Nothing new to see here, right? And so, Joy Reid, again, we've already discussed Joyless Reid here on this channel. She's a Democratic shill. She's a Democratic puppet. She's a plant. We know that, right? They give her little bit butter biscuits and she's happy. She makes her little coins and then she tries to gaslight the rest of America. Yes, Laurie, that was one of my very favorite books as a child, One Morning in Maine. Okay, you're going to figure out my age, Laurie, when you go see how old that book is. But yeah, I still remember the pictures to this day. I loved it. Little children were on a beach and they were trying to find seashells. Yeah. So, yeah, I digress. So, anyway, Joy Reid, we know her history. And so Byron Donald, she may try to make it seem like he was saying that the Jim Crow years were golden years for African Americans. Just, peaches and cream. It was wonderful. And that's not what he said, folks. That is not what he said at all. James said, I was out before and speaking with a neighbor. I don't understand the hate. James, we know what it is. Those Democrats are not willing to relinquish power. That's what this is all about, power and control. They're losing their grip. That's why they're freaking out. And so the mainstream media, we already know. Now, Joyless Reid, come on, guys. MSNBC and CNN, we already know what's going on here. And so we know that the mainstream media is simply an extension of the Democratic Party, that nothing new to see here. And this is just another example. Every time a conservative says something, how you doing, Underground West? Their words are twisted. Whereas Jim Crow Joe and the Democrat shills, plants, puppets, they're allowed to say anything goes, nothing is said. It's like they're untouchable. And so tell me what you think about this topic, those of you who are just now joining the chat. So the media has shown time and time again, I'm trying to keep up with your comments here, folks over in the chat section. But they've shown time and time again, years and years, the same old game. They will march lock and step with the Democratic Party. We know that. Hakeem Jeffries, I think we all know who he is, came out. Of course, he lied as well. They twisted what was said. He's the House Minority Leader, okay? And we all know him. He's always, the victim, playing the victim card. You know that. And so he's a puppet, just like Joy Reid is. So Byron Donalds talked about how Black marriages were, there was a much higher rate during Jim Crow. He did not say, oh, Jim Crow, the Jim Crow era, the Jim Crow period was a wonderful time in America for Black America. He never said that. That's what they are implying, and they're all wanting him to apologize, but he did not say that, folks. So Donalds talked about that. I mean, and you can't argue with statistics. You cannot argue with facts. You can't. This is an undisputable fact, folks. And we know in this day and age, with the internet, you can't sit up and tell lies, people. Because as soon as you say something, all people are going to do is go open up Google or whatever engine they're using and see if it's true. And then that's not always an indicator, because we know we've talked about how sometimes even truth is you Google it and then it's telling you that it's not true. So again, if you don't know, YouTube is owned by Google. Need I say more? Okay. Here we are. James said he used to work for Trump. I don't know if it's true. I don't argue anymore, discuss politics. Yeah, James, it's just for what, right? Where are we here? Ruby, my brother, a baby boomer, lost his mind when I dared to tell him to turn off MSDNC and listen to the comments and content. Right, Ruby? So again, we talked about the people who sit there and watch that mindless garble. That's all they hear every day. And so it's really sad, but that's just where we are. And I feel bad for the baby boomers. That's, they're older. And again, some of them are on social media, but many of them are not. And so this is what they're used to hearing day in and day out. And so the Democrats are saying that Donald said that Black people, Black families were better off under Jim Crow. I'm going to play some videos for you like I normally do. And again, if you're just coming into the comment section, folks, go ahead and hit that like button for me. Please go ahead and share this video on your various forms of social media. And so only someone with one brain cell would interpret what Donald said as Black people were better off. Come on, folks. We all have to smarten up and read between the lines here. The Democrats are desperate. We know that. The Democrats believe that Americans are stupid. The Democrats believe that Black Americans in particular are very stupid. And that's why they keep running this nonsense, these shenanigans down on us, have been doing for 60 plus years. And so these people who are supposed to be journalists, they're not journalists. They're puppets for the Democratic Party. We've said that. They're saying what they've been told to say. There's a script that they're reading from. We know that. And so that's just where we are. Let me see if I can play this first video for you. And I'll be trying to keep up with your comments in the comments section. Let's see what old Joyless is talking about here.
Some recent comments by Florida Congressman Byron Donalds have been condemned by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, the Congressional Caucus, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Jamie Harrison, and the president of the NAACP, Derek Johnson, just to name a few. In those comments at an event designed to help Republican outreach to Black voters in Philadelphia earlier this week.
Okay.
Congressman Donalds made what certainly seemed like positive comments about the Jim Crow era, and he claims his critics are missing the context of what he said. So Here's the context.
I grew up with my mom. My dad and my mom, things didn't work out. As an adult, I look at my father and I say, bro, I don't know what happened, but you my father and I love you. Wow. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Wow. But I'm going to tell you this, growing up, the one thing I knew I wanted to do, and this is not about my father, this is about what I wanted to do, is I wanted to be a father to myself. And so one of the things that's actually happening in our culture, which you're now starting to see in our politics, is the reinvigoration of Black families with younger Black men and Black women. And that is also helping to breed the revival of a Black middle class in America. You see, during Jim Crow, the Black family was together. During Jim Crow, more Black people were not just conservative, because Black people always have been conservative minded, but more Black people voted conservatively. And then HEW, Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are. What's happened in America the last 10 years, and I say it because it's my contemporaries as well as his contemporaries, you're starting to see more Black people be married in homes, raising kids. It's when you home with your wife raising your kids, and then you look at the world, you're saying, oh, wait a minute, time out. This does not look right. How can I get something to my kids? It goes back to the conversation of generational wealth. Not just having a job, generational wealth.
I am joined now by Florida Republican Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, thank you for being here. We played that lengthy segment. That is what you posted on your social media. The part of what you said that people take issue with is this line, which I'm going to read back to you again. You see, during Jim Crow, the Black family was together. During Jim Crow, more Black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative minded, but Black people voted conservatively. But it is that during Jim Crow, the Black family was together. That's what people have taken issue with. What are they missing?
Frankly, what's really happened is that you have, Democrats and you have the Biden campaign, and some in the media want to twist my words for political purposes. The overarching issue is talking just about Black families and why you're seeing a trend of Black people leaning towards Republicans in this election cycle and probably in election cycles to come. And part of that, is that when you're raising families, raising kids, et cetera, you're now thinking about all of the public policy issues, all of the economic issues, all of the education issues, and that's leading people to have divergence in political thoughts. That was the only point. The stuff that comes up about Jim Crow and twisting my words, saying I was being nostalgic or saying that Jim Crow was good for Black people, that's all political spin. It's a lie. It's gaslighting, and that's truly unfortunate.
So here's the challenge, Congressman. You started out talking about your family, talking about your mom, talking about being raised, and you on your own brought up Jim Crow. In fact, you said Jim Crow 3 times for emphasis. It wasn't the media or the Democrats or gaslighters who brought up Jim Crow. It was you. You brought up Jim Crow. So why did you use Jim Crow specifically as your reference? You did that. No one else did that. You did it.
Oh, I did. We were having a conversation, just talking as, Black people in Philadelphia. But if you're going to use the chronological timeline of America before the Great Society and Lyndon Johnson's time period, you had, unfortunately, the Jim Crow era in America. During that time period, the marriage rates of Black Americans was significantly higher than any other time since then in American history. So it is a divergence if you're talking about marriage rates in the Black community. They have plummeted. And what we've seen recently in America, which is a very good thing we should all celebrate, is that the marriage rates in the Black community are rising again. That's good for Black families. That's definitely good for Black children. It's something I want to see. I'm quite sure you want to see it as well.
Okay, let's talk about that. Jim Crow lasted roughly from 1867 after the Civil War to 1968. Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for Black families, or a time that was good for Black families?
Joy, I never said that. And see, this is where the gaslighting
I'm going to
comes
read
in.
what you said.
All I was talking about was the marriage rates.
Stop. No,
Joy,
that's not what you said. Let's play what you said. Play what he said. Play what he said.
Families. You're saying I said it was the golden era. I never said that.
I'm going to play what you said.
I said that it was better
I'm going to play what you said.
I never said that.
Play what he said.
Play what I
said.
Play
what he said.
So again, folks, she seems a little hostile. Of course, we have to remember she's reading from her script. John gets it. Yeah, he's too intelligent to even. Why even talk to her? Come on.
During Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then HEW, Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are.
Okay, so now I want to go back. You said during Jim Crow, the black family was together. What was the authority of the black father in the black family during Jim Crow?
Well, listen, under Jim Crow, obviously, black people were under great persecution, unfortunately, by Southern Democrats and the Democrat Party overall in the history of our country. That's the fact. And so, well, let me finish now, Joy. And so having the black man in the home was about first protecting the mom and protecting the kids. Incredibly important. It was the leadership in the home, which is incredibly valuable. And I think what we're witnessing, obviously, the last 30 years, definitely through my generation, is black fathers being at home is incredibly important for the success of black children going forward. And it's not just a black thing, that's everybody. Fathers in home help to breed success for kids moving.
Folks, they're just saying what we've been talking about. Information Man, thank you for the super chat. This is nothing new. We've been talking about this for months if you've been here on the show. If you have not been, if you're new here for the first time, you can go back and check out the previous videos, folks. And you notice how he said, which we said, it's those Southern racist Democrats. And they've tried to flip the switch to fool everyone. Snap out said Joy Reid. Exactly. And who said this? I wanted to say something about this statement because you got, I think it was Ruby. Was it Ruby? Said that one of you said that, and I'm sorry if I missed your comment, but you guys are coming really fast. I think it was Ruby that said that she should just stop. He should just stop talking to these people, which I was going to mention that later on. You know, everything you say is twisted. And so, you know, why waste your time? And yeah, it was Ruby. She said, I really wish Byron Donalds would stop going on these shows. Who would believe or debate a dishonest black woman in a blonde wig? Ruby gets it, right? I would not waste my time because every time you're trying to enlighten, he tries to enlighten these people. But again, they have to stick to that narrative. They have to stick to that script so they can continue to gather their little coins and nuggets from the Democrats. And so that's just where we are. So anyway, let me go continue.
Forward, that is a great thing for our country. That's something that has been proven throughout time. So what I'm talking about is not the golden era of Jim Crow. That's ridiculous. I would never say that. And that is the gaslighting that I'm standing up to, because that's what Hakeem Jeffries, the Biden campaign, Jamie Harrison, and the like are trying to bring up. And unfortunately, the media has followed suit with misleading headlines, and that's wrong.
Now I'm going to talk. Do I have a chance? Good. Now, you talked about the black father being in the family, being able to protect the family. First, I want to read just for our audience the definition of Jim Crow, just so we all know what we're talking about. Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation. They existed essentially from the post-Civil War era. They were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote, hold jobs, get an education, and other opportunities. Those who attempted to defy Jim Crow laws often faced arrest, fines, jail sentences, violence, and death. Now I want to talk about something that happened during this era. You said that what you were talking about was the presence of the Black father in the home to protect his wife and family. In 1943, in the state that you represent, in Florida, a young man named Willie James Howard, who was 15 years old, was lynched. During Christmas of 1943, Willie Howard sent cards to all of his coworkers at the Van Priest dime store in Live Oak, Florida. Unlike the other cards, Willie's card to Cynthia Goff, a white store employee, revealed a youthful crush. His greeting expressed hope that white people would someday like Black people and concluded, "I love your name, I love your voice. For SH, sweetheart, you are my choice." After reading the card, Cynthia's father, Phil Goff, brought two friends to the Howard home and demanded to see Willie. Despite his mother's pleading, the men dragged Willie away and then kidnapped Willie's father, James Howard, from work. The men drove the two Howards, I should say, to the embankment of the Suwannee River, bound Willie's hands and feet, stood him at the edge of the water, and told him to either jump or be shot. Willie jumped into the cold water below and drowned while his father was forced to watch at gunpoint. Willie's dead body was pulled from the river the next day. You said that during the Jim Crow era, the importance of having a Black man in the home was to protect his family and to protect his wife. I actually spoke with somebody who lived through Jim Crow. Her name is Merle Evers Williams. And Merle quoted to me a man named Charles Silverman, who wrote in Crisis in Black and White, that in 1890, the year that the Mississippi Constitution was written, the policy of crushing out the manhood of the Negro citizens was to be carried out with success. So the man in the home during Jim Crow had no rights, could not protect his wife from rape, could not protect his son from lynching. So again, why would you quote that era and say that at that time?
So you see how she's denigrating the Black male. You see how she's putting a spin on it, right? So she's still saying what she's trying to do is saying, why are you talking about the Black male being, she's trying to say the Black male being in the home during the Jim Crow era was irrelevant. It was unimportant. Again, what's the narrative that the Democrats push? The matriarchy. How's that working out for us, folks? 60 plus years of the matriarchy. It's not working out too well. Right.
Time, the family all being in the home together was something we should think of as a good thing.
Well, first of all, Joy, the story you bring up and you're bringing up is a tragedy. One of the great tragedies of the Jim Crow era. This is why those policies they were disgusting and distasteful. All I was talking about, Joy, was the benefit of a man in the family.
Again, sir, I'm sorry, I've let you talk for a long time. Sorry, no. Talk over you. You've gotten a chance to speak a lot, Congressman. You're going to answer my question now and not filibuster. This is the question you want. This is the question you need to answer.
That's what I'm trying to answer. That's what I'm trying to answer, Joy.
Give me a second. Take a breath. Take a breath. If a Black man could not protect, it's my show. If a Black man, a Black father, could not protect his wife, his son, or himself from lynching and violence, how is him being in the home mean that is an era that was better for the Black family, or that we should think of as a good thing?
First of all, Joy.
So anyway, of course, you can watch that in its entirety. But again, what does she do? What do we talk about people? What they come to the Democratic Party when they're dealing with Black Americans, they get emotions involved. You've heard Mr. John Joyner several times say, take the emotions out of it. Okay. And if you can do that, hey, you'll see your life improve. Florida, she's the one that has to take a breath. Right. And she's trying to talk over him. So I wouldn't waste my time trying to talk to these people any longer. I would not. And so that's just where we are with that. And so if you look at it, folks, it's the same old shenanigans from the Democrats' playbook. She brings up this story. What does that have to do with what they were discussing? She brings up this sad story, of course, with the underlying being racism, discrimination, to get people emotional, because they know they're losing terribly. They're trying to bring the Black Americans back onto the Democratic plantation. And so she brings up this sad story. So people are like, to get people angry. we can't, you know, we can't vote for someone that's not a Democrat. That's all it's the same routine. Nothing new to see here, folks. Ruby, LBJ, the Democrats offered Black people welfare only if the husband/father was not in the home. A whole generation is now without male leadership in the home. Ruby's been here for a while. We've been talking about that. Everyone's talking about what happened, why was there a breakdown in the Black family. And if you look at the statistics, Byron Donalds he's dead on accurate. He's not lying. So once the welfare state started, that was the end of the Black family being intact. So don't get angry. He's just quoting, he's stating facts. He didn't come out and say how wonderful it was to, you know, have to have separate bathrooms and separate water fountains and ride in the back of the bus. He did not say that, but with their spin, which is what we're used to. Folks, if anyone in the chat section is shocked, let me know, but I don't think so. Florida, the left wants to destroy the nuclear family. Exactly. And that was, we talked about that, Florida. You were here. That's what Black Lives Matter is all about. Get rid of the nuclear family, right? Underground West. Okay, you're right. So that's all we're saying. And let me see. I have another I wanted to share with you. Okay, 1 second. And I'm just going to play a short portion of it because, you know, everything that I share with you, I have in the description box as well. Okay, so Al Sharpton was so outraged, and we've talked about him a lot. You know, he was outraged. What else is new? Nothing new to see here, folks, right? And so again, Joyless, she can't dispute the facts. You know, to argue the Black family being together during that time period wasn't necessarily a good thing. So she's saying, yeah, the Black, and what she's saying, if you read between the lines, well, the Black father may have been there, but what good was it? He was powerless. He couldn't even protect his own family. That's what she's saying, folks. If you watch the interview in its entirety. So what does she do? She shares this sad sob story to get people emotional. People, think with your brain. We said that when you vote, think with your brain. Don't get emotional because then you may make a mistake. So she's attempting, if you listen to what she's saying, she's attempting to diminish the role of the Black man or the Black father in the home during the Jim Crow era. So she's directly opposed to what he's saying, which what he's saying was statistically correct. And so what do you think about that, folks? Joyless, what does she do when she cannot dispute the truth? She goes around and digresses and takes you somewhere to try to, when she's losing the argument, she's going to get people emotionally involved. How you doing, Steve? Glad that you're here. And so, you know, what do you guys think? Type in the comment section. I'm going to play this because the right Reverend Al said, how can you live with yourself? I mean, he's just completely livid with Byron Donalds. I won't play all of it, but I'll play a small portion.
To the show, you just heard what Congressman VC had to say about your comments. You've also been criticized by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and the head of the DNC, Jamie Harrison, both of them Black. One of them Black from Brooklyn, like you were born in Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn. What's your response?
My response is that it's very interesting how people can just lie and mischaracterize what I said. The video's on my social media. Go to @Byron Donalds. You can listen to it in full. I never said or insinuated anything about Jim Crow being better. Just was talking about the marriage rates of Black families in America during that time period. It's an empirical fact.
You mentioned Jim Crow. Wait a minute. I've watched your video. You mentioned Jim Crow 4 times. One time you referred to families. All families did less. They had higher divorce rates in the 60s and 70s as the nation opened up. This wasn't because of Jim Crow kept blacks together. Blacks couldn't vote. Those families couldn't go downtown. I mean, to in any way infer that black families were better in Jim Crow. I mean, I've said things that I've later said I shouldn't have said it that way.
I've never
Can't
said
you
that.
own that even sanitizing Jim Crow, even if that wasn't your intention, was to say, that's my intention, I'm sorry for using those words?
Well, first of all, I never sanitized Jim Crow. I was just talking about the era in which black marriage rates were higher than they were during the Great Society and every other point in American history.
Why did you say Jim Crow?
Because that's the period of time, Reverend.
The period of time was the 50s. If you wanted to say the 50s,
that's when it happened.
You said Jim Crow.
That's when it happened. Because that was the era in which marriage rates were higher.
Jim
you
Crow
had Joe Biden a couple years ago talking about Jim Crow 2.0, talking about Georgia's law. He lied. He lied then. So are we not allowed to talk about that era, or only are we allowed to talk about it when we do want to recall all the history of Jim Crow and all the tragedies that occurred during Jim Crow?
If we're going to
choose
talk
which one we're
about the era, Congressman, and you name a race-based law, then you cannot take race out of the fact Jim Crow was a law against black people. You weren't just talking about the era of Dwight Eisenhower and Harry Truman. You named Jim Crow. There's only one way you could deal with Jim Crow, and that's by race. I mean, look, look, you and I have mutual friends. People say you're a straight shooter. We may disagree on politics. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But look, you were born in Brooklyn. You went down into the South, went to Florida State. You have an interracial marriage. You're the congressman of a district that's not a black district. I mean, how can you even live with yourself acting like Jim Crow was a good era or better era for blacks? What happened to you?
Okay, that's real cute. That's real cute. I did not say that. And I'm not going to sit here and have to insinuate that against you, because right now you're lying about what I said. I did say Jim Crow. I did reference it 3 times. That's not to say that it was better. I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. When are you going to get that through your skull and everybody else's skull? I never said that. And the difference between me and a lot of other Republicans, I'm not going to sit here.
You said it was better for us.
I'm not going to let you lie
under Jim Crow to bring families together. Did you say that?
Everybody's lying.
Okay.
So again, the Democrats are desperate. We know that. So Ruby C. Fryer, welcome. Yeah, welcome, C. Fryer. Again, they're so desperate. Snap out. Believe me, if Byron mentioned any other era, Alan Joy will still, snap. They're going to be angry anyway. He's reading from a script just like Joyless is. And again, you can go look at the statistics. He's telling the truth. He never said it was a wonderful time for black families. He was just talking about marriage, and they just lost their stuff. So it's laughable, folks. It really is. Joy is attempting to diminish now, and then Al, he's so outraged. He asks, "How can you live with yourself?" Come on. But they're both bought and paid for. They're Democrat shills and puppets. What else do you expect? What do you guys tell me what you think about all this in the comment section, folks? Unbelievable. Guys, those of you just coming in, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you have Truth Social, other forms of social media, please go ahead and share this live out for me. Information Man, he was in here earlier. If you're not subscribed to his channel, check him out. He talks about a lot of the same topics that we discuss here on this channel. So again, folks, this was clearly a lie. And I agree with Ruby. Donalds, just forget it. You try to talk to these people, but again, they have a one-track mind and they're reading from the script from the puppet master. So Donalds here is 100% correct. But he's dealing with these actors and actresses, and they're not going to be truthful. And so Joyless continued to try to spin everything that he says. So all of the Democratic shields and puppets, they're here to push that agenda. So we're used to that. You know, this is nothing new for us. Joy has no rebuttal for the facts. And so that's when she brings in the sad sob story so people can get angry. And so they always bring up irrelevant things. They have nothing to do with the particular argument that they're dealing with right there at that point in time. They know that his argument is indisputable. How you doing, Jacqueline? And so this is what they do. The gaslighting will continue. Ruby said, this is why the Dems are losing black voters. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And black males are finally waking up and like, wait a minute, this isn't right. They removed us from our homes. And so now, if people would take their rightful positions, you know, God created the nuclear family. You remove one component, you're going to have disaster. That's what we've had for 60 plus years. C. Fryer, Byron Donalds was straight up. C. Fryer's exactly what he was saying. If you don't believe the man, go Google it. The statistics are readily available. That black families were intact more during the Jim Crow era. So what can he say? He's not lying. So tell me what you think about that. Black fathers were helpless. They couldn't do anything about the oppression of the white man. So remember, all these Democratic shills that are making all these statements, go look at who most of them are married. They're talking about how horrible the white man is. And then go look at who they're married, including Don Lemon. So don't listen to these people. They're hypocrites. So they can't be that horrible. That's who you're married to. So stop it. Stop trying to race bait and get people emotional. That's all they do. So straight from the Democrat playbook, you know, Joy shares this extreme example. So she had to do some digging for that one. Okay. So there was, according to her, there was no positive role model, no positive benefits to having the black father in the home during the Jim Crow era. You guys tell me what you think about this. Typical Democratic strategy, remove the black male, and the Democratic Party pushes what? The matriarchy. We've been talking about that for a while. So Joy is denigrating black fathers as being useless and helpless. Again, what's the narrative? Raise up the matriarchy. Okay. And so this is, if you look at 60 plus years, somebody type in the comment section, how's that working out for us? Okay. You remove one component of the nuclear family. What do you expect? But the Democrats are in desperation mode right now. Okay. And how many of you were offended by what Byron Donalds said? I was offended with what Joy said. Okay. So, or joyless. Her statements to me were offensive. Saying that the black father was useless during the Jim Crow era. Read between the lines. You can watch the interview in its entirety. The liberals will not say anything about the statements that she makes, the statements that Al Sharpton makes. They can say anything they want. Okay. Look at the black community. It's in dire straits, and it has been since Lyndon Johnson created the welfare state and the Great Society. Okay. So if you look at it, because what did the Democrats do? Worship the black woman, denigrate the black male, the matriarchy. Okay. You see that in sports. You see that in every aspect of American culture. The matriarchy is the most important. Patriarchy, not so much. Okay. And that's what they're doing. And this has been detrimental to Black American communities as well as other communities in America. Right. Jim Crow Joe, he's all right. If you look at the things they're on Trump about, oh, everyone's offended. I get offended with the things that Jim Crow Joe says. But it's okay because he's a Democrat, right? He lied about black people. That he'll tell them their voting rights are being taken away. All kinds of lies, fear mongering. So Biden gets to pass because he's a Democrat, right? Yeah, always. Okay, so that's not right. If I miss your statements, honey, don't. Let me see. Where are we? Don't be angry. I'll try to. Let me see. Oh, C. Fry said, okay, see you later, C. Fry said, Joy Reid is a nut, and so is Al Sharpton. Underground says, I was never a fan of Al. Yeah, Underground, I don't know what age group you're in. I know all about the Right Reverend Al. If Byron mentioned any other era, yeah. Florida, by shaming him, he wants to hide the truth. Exactly. That's what they're trying to do. James, I still don't understand how Sharpton survived that fake rape case early on. James, probably because we didn't have the internet. You're talking about the Tawana Brawley case. Yeah, guys, go back and check Al's record. So he's been around for a while. So go check him out. Ruby said this is why the Dems are losing black vote. Yeah, that's why. There was a movie called Deacons for the Defense. Yeah, that was an excellent movie, Ruby. Black men protected their families during Jim Crow. Yeah, according to Joy Reid, they didn't. But she's trying to change the narrative. Rain Love, I was offended because Joy is not from our culture or community. And see, Rain, a lot of people don't know that. Rain, type in the comment section where she's actually from. Exactly, Rain. But she acts like she's this oppressed Black American. And she's not even from this country. And has no business speaking on our history. Right, Rain. And a lot of people don't even know that. And they think, oh, she's out here as a voice for us. No, she's not. She's a voice for herself so that she can continue to get her money. All right. So do not be fooled, people. Let me see if I can where are the rest of the comments? I'm trying to keep up with you. Don't okay, here we go. Yeah, don't give up on me yet. Underground West, all I know is my father was a great man. Seafryer. I've never been offended by what Byron Donalds says. He stands up against lies, shouts out the truth. Joyless and others should truly be ashamed of themselves. Seafryer, that's what I've been saying. It's ridiculous. As a matter of fact, some of you are probably going to eat your Sunday dinner when this is over. I won't play any more of that interview. I don't want you to lose your dinner. Okay, so let me see, where are we here? How you doing, Keith? Yeah, he's an agent. He's a puppet and he's a Democratic shield. That's what he is. It's like Joy and the rest of the Democrats. They're going to put y'all back in chains, Uncle Joe. Right, Ruby? Fear mongering. No one's listening to that crap anymore. Thank God. Underground West. I recently turned 50 with 2. Okay. So, Underground, you're a Generation Xer like myself. Perfect. Richard Snow, how are you? Help family and friends by showing and subscribing them to real news channels like Roland's Reviews. Yay! Richard, everyone say hi and send some hearts to Richard in the comment section. Thank you so much, Richard. Yes, I am trying to get the word out. Congratulations, Wes. Ruby, Joy is a voice for Black Americans like Indian, Jamaican, Kamala. Ruby's got jokes again. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah. So yeah, Kamala Harris is here to help Black America. What a joke. She's helping herself. Get out of here. That is hilarious. Keith, I like Larry Elder. He believes in the Black family. Right, Keith? I've been watching Larry Elder actually since the 90s when I was in college. So I've been watching him for a while. Snap said you can't shame the devil. Yeah, there is no shame in their game. And again, they are panicking because they're finally starting to believe the poll numbers. And they're just pulling, they're going to pull out all stops. So anything that they do, I will not be shocked. And so what Donalds and other conservatives need to do when they go on these shows is talk about how the liberal policies have destroyed not only the Black family, but America, period. Liberal policies. And again, go to any liberal city. They're all war zones. Who the heck would want to live in a liberal city? So with Joy Reid, she always uses the sleight of hand. You know, think about shell game. Asked Donalds about the authority of the Black father. So she did that to divert, because she knew what he was saying was true, but she looked down at her paper. She had to come back with something else because she has to stay on script. These people are paid actors and actresses. Again, they're puppets. Joy is a disgrace. Al is a disgrace as well. All of these people, wake up, people. The liberals are upset. They're going to do whatever they think. Again, they're probably going to try to pull old Jim Crow Joe out. They know he's not going to win, and they cannot stand. They're losing their grip. They know they're not going to win this upcoming election. So do not be shocked at anything that they may try. And I had another video that I shared with you in the description box on Hakeem Jeffries, and he's talking about how horrible it is with the statements that Byron Donalds made. So, folks, if you have an issue, but you're not willing to listen to true facts, if someone has receipts, so they say, with receipts, where you can look at, and that's why I love math. You can look at numbers. You can look at statistics. You can't argue against the truth. I mean, if you don't want to hear the truth, you don't want to improve any segment of America. Someone has truth right here. This is what's going on, but you don't want to hear it. Thank you so much, Keith. Yeah, we have to have independent media, right? We can't listen to that crapola, as Archie Bunker says, that you see on CNN and MSNBC, CBS, ABC. They all have a certain narrative that they are following, right? So you have to dig deeper. You have to go to trusted news sources, and none of that includes the lamestream media. Those days are gone, folks. And so that's why you see the older population. I've had talked to some people, and they were like, "Oh, why won't they change? Why won't they listen?" When you get older, it's easier to manipulate you. Your mental faculties aren't what they once were. And hey, fake numbers are good to use, James said. Yeah, Keith, everyone send Keith some hearts for subscribing. All of you who are here, please go ahead and hit that little like button for me. Keith, if you're on Truth Social, if you're on other forms of social media, dear, please go ahead and share this video out for me. Thank you so much. Ruby says, the Dems are in trouble when San Francisco is cheering for Trump. Yes, you can have your own beliefs, but not your own fact. Ruby, say it again for the people in the back. You're welcome or entitled to think what you want, but facts are facts. And that's just where we are. Keith, if you like this content, dear, go back and check out some of my prior videos. We've been talking about everything going on in this country, how the Democrats are trying to destroy America. That's what they're up to. They're socialists, and they're Marxists, and they're communists, and they're trying to destroy the country. And if Biden goes back to the White House, kiss it goodbye. It's a wrap. It's over. Stick a fork in it. We can't allow that to happen. Jim Crow Joe must go. That's my mantra. Richard, thank you for all the great people. Oh, Richard, you're great too, dear, for coming. That's right. Hit the love button. Thank you so much, Richard. James, do they think we're stupid? They're telling us how great the economy is. I went to the store the other day, and I was just looking at, food. Since it's been all over the news, Bidenomics. I looked at a can of corned beef hash, Libby's corned beef hash. It was $6.99 for one can, just a standard 8-ounce can, folks. I said, what the heck is going on? Yeah, Keith, the dollar is on life support, dear, but they're blowing smoke up our rears, telling us how wonderful it is. Gas is expensive. Food is expensive. People can't pay rent, mortgage, everything, but we're supposed to be smiling. Everything's great. No, it's not. Who the heck? And Keith, you're new here, and I tell people, I don't tell people who to vote for. I tell people, if you like high gas prices, if you like high food prices, if you like high rent, high interest rates, well, then you know who to vote for. Jim Crow Joe. If you're like me and you don't like that, you don't like your tax dollars going overseas, you don't like your tax dollars being used to pay people's student loan debt because they were irresponsible in college, you know who you need to vote for, and it's not Jim Crow Joe. Or Keith, I don't know if you're aware of this. We've been talking a lot about Black Americans. A lot of them are saying they're not going to vote this election cycle. They're going to vote the couch. And I tell people, whatever your decision, hey, you do what you think is best for you. I'm voting policy. over party. It's for me, it's policy, policy, policy. And also here, Keith. Oh, okay, Keith, good deal. Your prices are outrageous. And so, hey, policy over Keith. We were talking about a lot, racial idolatry, where Black Americans have been indoctrinated to say you have to vote for Black people. So what do the Democrats do? They'll stick a Black person here, particularly Black females, Black person here, Black person there. They know, oh, they're emotional. They see a Black face, they're going to vote for them. You're still voting against your own best interest. Don't do it, folks. Okay? Vote for your pocketbook and vote for policy. Richard, in fact, I have more money in the pockets of liars these days than ever before. Yes, Richard. Good point, C. Fryer. Keith, I love my pockets too. And policy pocketbook principle. Yes, Ruby, yes. And that if we could get more people on board with this, don't vote for someone because they're Black. Hey, don't vote for someone because they're white. You better go online and find out, what they think about topics that are important to you. And that's what I don't get. They're going to continue going to the Black churches. They're going to continue to go to HBCUs. And for what? Like I said, this is the Great Awakening. People are waking up. So the Democrats are going to continue this racism, racism, racism. He's racist. He's racist. She's racist. No one cares about that crap. People are struggling. Take that racism crap somewhere else. No one wants to hear that in 2024. They don't. If someone is racist or not, that's not going to pay their gas, their bills, buy them food. No one cares about that crap. So the Democrats are scrambling. They don't know what to do because that's always worked. Thank God people aren't listening to that anymore. The lid in my pocket, don't buy my Richard. Right. Richard, I've never been able to take lint from my pocketbook and purchase anything. And you're absolutely right. And so, guys, if you enjoy this content, please, please, please continue to hit that like button. Continue to subscribe. Continue to share this with your family members. Share this on your social media pages. I cannot get out this information by myself. I need help. I need you to help me disseminate this information. Richard, I think you're new here. And Keith, we've said this election is probably going to be the most important election this century so far. And I'm telling you guys, you think it's bad now. You let Biden go back in office. Oh my God, we're all going to be in the poor line, the helpline. So, all I'm saying, Ruby said Atlanta is a cautionary tale for not voting for people because they're Black. Ruby, say it again for the people in the back, please. Don't vote for people because they're Black. They're bought and paid for. They're puppets. They're not there for you. They're there as an extension of the Democratic Party to fulfill the narrative. They are not there for you. What don't you get? Yes, the Democrats are always, we're just like you. We're poor. They're all rich and they're all millionaires. What do they have in common with you? They don't have anything in common. I'm not a millionaire. Stop buying the lies. Ruby, I wish you could tell more people, but more Black people are waking up, but we need more people to wake up. Don't vote for someone because they're Black or because they pretend to be Black, like Kamala Harris. She could give her care about you. And she's always talking about racism. Newsflash, her husband is white. So again, look at all these Democrats that are telling you how you're being oppressed and the white man is evil. And they're all married to white people. So obviously you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. That's what you are. But you're trying to sell that Democratic narrative. Keith, the last election was the most important. We're trying to say, right, Keith? But Keith, we know what happened. It was stolen. So Keith, we've been talking about on this channel, people need to get out, particularly in Chicago, these places that have always been blue, where the people are like, no, we're not voting for Democrats this time. People have got to get out in force to watch and see what's going on, because they are going to try and steal another election. That's exactly what they're going to try. They are not willing to give up power, folks. They are not. James, to be honest, though, people are too busy or lazy to investigate the person they vote for. James has a point. And sometimes people are busy. They're working, busy in their everyday lives. Sometimes they'll just listen to what's, again, lamestream media, the Clinton News Network. So that is a problem, James. And so we have to combat that. So again, share videos of content creators who are sharing the truth, so that people can say, I never thought about that. And then they can Google it and try to find out, like, oh, okay, he or she knew what they were talking about. That's what we have to do. And that's all we can do, folks, is to get the word out. Some people, those of you who are here, the last few live chats, some people are like, wow, I never heard about that. I never knew that. That's what this channel is about, trying to enlighten you. And hopefully you learn something new and you can grow from it. Hey, I'm learning and growing every day. I try to do that as a person. Keith, like my hometown, Oakland. Oh, wow. Keith is Oakland, California has become a wasteland. I lived in Nevada, but now I love Oakland. It made me, Keith, Oakland, all the liberal towns, cities, states. Oh, wow. James, I'm sure your views are better after football season. Yes, James. No one can compete with NFL football. And my views do go up after the NFL season is complete. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you guys pretty much. Just continue to be vigilant. Continue to share this content with people. You never know who can say, wait a minute. And they can be liberal, but if someone is willing to listen, and then every once in a while, like I said, I had an ex-coworker, and I didn't know she was still watching. And she had voted Democrat for years. She told me, you know what you're saying? And she would go and do a little research. She would watch videos I share in the description box. She would be like, oh, wow, I never knew that. And she told me she's not voting for Biden this election cycle. So each one teach one. That's an educator's term that we've been using for years. You never know who is going to listen and take heed to the message. Because I was shocked, that this particular ex-coworker, it shocked me. But I was like, I'm glad, I'm happy. And she actually calls me frequently asking me questions about this, about that. And she's, I never knew the Democrats, started the KKK. There's so much that she is learning. And she calls me and she told me she's not voting for Biden, So don't be discouraged if someone's a Democrat. Some people are willing to listen and change. Okay. Ruby, Gavin Gruesome just killed the California economy. Ruby, I was teaching about what's his name? Gavin Gruesome. And I teach a food science class, and I think he was banning Skittles because of the chemicals and things of that nature. Yeah, so California's kind of fed up with him. So yeah, that's all I wanted, guys and gals. I hope that everyone enjoyed this live chat. I hope that you will continue to support the channel. Love having you here. I told you, if any of you want to reach out to me, send me an email. My email is in the description box up under each video. I had Florida to reach out to me, and we talked for like 2 hours. We had an excellent conversation. So I love talking to subscribers. So, hey, reach out, send me an email, and I'll give you a call. Just ask Florida. We had an excellent time, and now we're texting each other. So, hey, why not? James, thanks for another good program. Best to everyone. Yes, James, thank you so much, dear. for being here. I thank all of you for spending your very valuable time here at the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. Anthony, I wish I traveled around the country when I was younger before all these cities were destroyed. Exactly, Anthony. It's dangerous now, even more so. Thank you so much, Laurie. So glad that you spent your time here. Yeah, everyone hit that little thumb, hit that like button. C. Fryer. Oh, yeah. C. Fryer, gotcha. All of you, I'm sending you hearts. So thank you, Roland. Hope everyone enjoy the rest of your day. How you doing, Steve Voles, Steve Bishop, all of you who are coming in? We're pretty much done. Please go back, please hit that like button. Please share this stream out. Richard, when I got my first PC, year 2000, I could have any title degree with a credit card number. Dr. Reverend, why listen to people that want men and women's rights? Richard, we've talked about that as well. It's the narrative that they're pushing, the matriarchy, they're pushing the LGBTQ narrative down our throats. Yeah, something's got to give. We can't continue to go on like this. Thank you so much, following birds. Thank everyone for watching. Reach out to me, send me an email. If you want me to give you a call, we can discuss the channel and some things you may want to see on the channel. Hey, I'll be glad to talk to you. All right. I may come on one day during the week. Now that school's out, I'm still working, but at least I'm not teaching. Thank goodness I have a break from the teenagers. So just reach out to me and send me an email. And you know how I do. Once I end the live stream, I answer all your comments in the comment section as long as you're there. Okay. So everyone enjoy the rest of their Sunday. Thank you again for visiting the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel, and I will see you in a few days.